One. Boom.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is a brand new episode of Schmoedown All Access. I, of course, am your host, C-Dub Chris Woodburn, but I'm not alone. I got my homeboy. He is the con man, Caleb Boatman.
Hey, yeah, I'm really happy to be on this episode because I literally just finished watching them like 10 or 20 minutes ago, the Schmoedown matches. So I'm really excited. Those were both great matches. I'm excited.
Absolutely. And also joining us for the first time, he is the man of mischief. He is Christopher Day.
I love that. How's it going, guys? No, I actually, last night, before I drank, went out, I watched the Schmoedown matches, and I'm really excited to talk about them. So.
Yep, and my co-host, he'll be joining us a little bit later, running the ones and twos. He is the villain, Haven Pendergast. So, like Caleb said, we had two incredible matches this week. Let's get to this first one. We had Ethan Irwin taking on Mark Andreyko in a number one contenders match. The winner will face the Beast William Bibiani for the championship belt. Now, in this first round, Ethan he jumped out to a big lead. He got all 8 of his questions correct, and then the bonus question: who directed 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri? The answer was Martin McDonough. Mark, he played decent. He didn't get off to a great start. Couldn't recall Sam Neill played Dr. Alan Grant in the Jurassic Park. So, but yeah, Ethan was up 9-5. Caleb, I'll go to you first. Like, who are you picking in this match, and your thoughts on that first round?
Yeah, I was picking Ethan Irwin because, he's been on a hot streak lately, going 3-0 and 2 really great matches that he won, him versus Lon Harris, him versus Drew McWeeny. He was really great in both of those. Mark Andreyko has kind of been hit or miss, I feel like, in the Schmoedown. So I was thinking that Ethan Irwin was going to take this. As far as that first round goes, yeah, I thought Ethan Irwin did super well in that. He was really good. Obviously getting a perfect round there. I was surprised at Andreyko. I was really surprised he did not do that well with the Sam Neill question or the Billy Crystal question that he missed. I thought that was like an easy question with Billy Crystal being in The Princess Bride. But yeah, overall, solid first round from Andreyko. Great first round from Irwin.
Absolutely. And I'll add to that, like I did know Sam Neill, but I'll be honest with you, I've never seen The Princess Bride, so the only person in that film I knew was in it was Andre the Giant.
Really? Come on, man.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I've always heard it's a great film, but I have yet to see it.
Yeah, check it out. It's great.
It's amazing. Anybody want a peanut?
Chris, on to you.
I wasn't really sure what to think about this match, to be honest, and I was rooting for Ethan because he's just, like Caleb said, he's been on a roll lately. I'm really surprised with this match overall. I didn't really Caleb said, I didn't really think Andreyko was going to pull off, but I guess comebacks are dime a dozen. You can't really expect anybody to come back after the first round when you're at such a point. I kind of had that experience this past week with the Nerdum match, the Geekdom match. So I kind of know how that is, but I understand the first round itself. Everybody struggles when it comes to, you think you know the answer, but you don't. I mean, it's a part of the game, and it's hard to say that, but it is. But hands off to both of them. That was a really good game. So.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I've been big on Ethan Irwin. I have been predicting saying he would win a belt by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. But I kind of stick with him because, as most people know, I am a Fife Clubber, big-time fan of them. So, as much as I thought I really like Ethan, I wanted Andreyko to win this match. And, yeah, and in retrospect, and Draco probably after that first round being down by 4 points to Ethan, he probably wasn't feeling too great at that point. So I mean, I know if I was down by 4 points to a killer like Ethan, I'd be quite nervous, frankly. So going into round two, like I said, Ethan was up 9-5, and Ethan elected to go first, and he spun action adventure, and he decided to stick with it, and he did pretty well. He got 3 out of 4 questions for 6 points. Although I got to admit, it was a little disheartening to see that on question 2 he missed who played the bumbling cop who used to work for Alan's father in Jumanji. Now, I mean, I love this film, and I literally watched that movie last weekend, so I immediately knew it was David Alan Grier, and then Mark was even unable to get the steal on that. But, yeah, I mean, Ethan did pretty well. And then Mark, he spun John Carpenter, didn't keep it, he spun Tim Burton next, and he did pretty damn good. Got all 4 questions for 7 points, but still Mark was down 15-12. Chris, what were your thoughts on that second round?
Very impressive second round. A lot of surprising, especially for that Jumanji question. But to be honest, I haven't watched that movie in so long. I've only really watched the Dwayne Johnson one more than I watched the first one. So I mean, it's a normal question. People would, they think they know it, but they don't. And there's some movies that I don't even know. But I was surprised that Draco didn't go for that card because I would like to have seen how he would have done that. I mean, it was a lot better in the first round, if I'm being honest. But at least for Draco, but and also Irwin. Irwin did not that bad, so that's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, as far as John Carpenter goes, I think in Draco, and this is just me, speculating, but I'm thinking that he was probably thinking he's down by 10 points. He needs a really strong round, and is he confident enough in John Carpenter to gain that ground back? And maybe he wasn't feeling that confident, and I mean, he ended up with Tim Burton, which he was stuck with it, whether he liked it or not. But he did pretty damn well in it. Caleb?
Yeah, I think the second round was the round where both players did about the same amount, and Draco did a little bit better in that second round. And he did very well with Tim Burton, but Irwin was solid with action adventure. But yeah, I knew all the Tim Burton questions that Draco did, with the exception of I didn't know the fruit salad question or whatever that was. That was a tough question for the Edward Scissorhands. What salad was that? Like, wow. But overall, yeah, the second round kind of reflects the overall match. Just really good from both competitors. I do want to say that I don't think anybody's gotten John Carpenter on the wheel as of yet. Maybe I'm wrong. So maybe,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I don't think so.
Somebody this year has gotten it. Now, I can't remember who, but I do recall somebody getting it.
well, not that many people. So that means it's kind of still a pretty fresh category, meaning that the questions might be a little easier. So I can see why maybe Draco might have wanted to pick that, but it was good for him. He spun again because he did super well with Tim Burton.
Yeah. And like for me personally, I did better on Ethan's questions, like Sleepy Hollow. I seen that movie once, so I had no idea. Sweeney Todd again. I seen that movie once, so I had no idea. The salad question, I have seen that film a few times. I guessed the wrong answer. I think I only knew one of Mark's questions, but Ethan's I knew 3 of them.
I want to quick correct you there. I don't think there was a Sleepy Hollow question. There was a Sweeney Todd.
I felt like there were.
What?
I felt like there was. Like I remember it was the name of something in Sweeney Todd. Okay, maybe
Yes.
I might be wrong on Sleepy Hollow. I thought there was a question in that.
Yeah, I don't think there was a Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right, so yeah, Ethan, he was still up 15-12, and they give their numbers. Ethan goes 1, 7, and 17. Mark goes 2, 3, and 5. For Mark's 2-pointer, he gets the category of Sandra Bullock. Question was, what country is Sandra Bullock from in the film The Proposal? He guessed his way to that answer with Canada. On to his 3-pointer in category of new releases. What is the one-word term for the consciousness of the mind in Ghost in the Shell? Again, he Makugas it. Guesses Ghost. So we bounce it on to Ethan for his 2-pointer in family films. In the Paddington films, what is Paddington's favorite food? He didn't give an answer. That answer was marmalade sandwiches, which I had no idea about because I haven't seen those movies. Ethan's 3-pointer, category of Angelina Jolie. Name the critically panned yet Golden Globe nominated film starring Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp traveling by train to Venice. He got that correct. The Tourist. On to Mark for his 5-pointer, category of thrillers. And I love this question, mostly because I love this movie and I knew the answer. The murder of a powerful gang leader in New York City that goes by Cyrus served as the inciting incident in what 70s action thriller? He had to have it repeated. I guess maybe he didn't quite understand it the first time, but he did get the answer. The Warriors. So we take it on to Ethan. Down to the final question. His 5-pointer in the category of Disney. Name the 3 Dorothy children from Disney's Peter Pan. He knew Wendy immediately, but he uses repeats. He ended up guessing Richard and Steven, which they were incorrect. The correct answers were Wendy, Michael, and John. And Mark Andreyko gets a kind of a stunning and a little surprising victory. He's moving on to the finals. The rematch with him and Bibiani for the championship. Who could have predicted this? Caleb, what were your thoughts on this match and Andreyko Bibiani 2?
Yeah, as far as the third round goes, that was great showing from Andreyko, even though he kind of Makuga'd 2 of the question. That was still, I Makuga'd all 3 of those questions, so I can't blame him for that. But yeah, that was a great round from Andreyko. As far as Erwin goes, I think his first round question I didn't think was that tough because I actually have seen Paddington 2, not the first one, but Paddington 2. That is a charming movie, by the way. It's like if Wes Anderson directed Winnie the Pooh. It's charming. But yeah, no, it is. It feels like that. But yeah, that 5-pointer though that he had, that was tough. The name all the kids from Peter Pan. I knew Wendy and I knew Michael, but I couldn't pull John. So that I thought that was a really tough question. But overall, it was just a great match from both competitors. I think this is a contender for match of the year. I'm not sure I would give it match of the year, but I'd say it's a contender. I could have been a contender. But yeah.
That was good.
Thank you. You don't even have the respect to call me the Godfather. But yeah, as far as Andreyko versus Bibiani 2, I know I thought that Erwin was going to win. That didn't happen, but I'm happy that we're getting Andreyko versus Bibiani 2 because that's going to be great. As far as who I think is going to win that one, I want to give the edge to Bibiani, but I really feel like it's anybody's game.
Absolutely. And I got to ask this one question. How did you watch Paddington 2 without watching the first one?
Because I have nieces and nephews that I took to go see it.
Oh, okay.
It was a charming movie. It was genuinely. Hugh Grant is very funny in it, and so is Brendan Gleeson. They are hilarious in that movie.
Cool. I mean, yeah, it's just, I don't really do those. I
thought it was going to be dumb. But I thought those 2 guys were very funny.
Yeah. I gotcha.
The first one was really cute. I'm gonna give my thoughts on this match, if I may. That was my pick. It was in Draco. Glad he won. You know, Irwin getting the fucking dominating first round, not missing a question was kind of scary, but he climbed back, man, and yeah, it was a good match. I don't think it was match of the year. I think it's just because the two players are kind of mild, so the match was just kind of timid. You know, like it wasn't like a lot of energy in the match. So, but yeah, I'm happy to see Draco versus Bibiani 2.
Yeah. Chris?
Yeah, I think it was a very good match. I don't think it's like Haven said. I don't think it's a match of the year by any means. I think the match we're about to talk about is a match of the year talks. However, I will say this was a really good match. I love, Caleb, also how you're throwing the nieces and the nephews thing because I relate to that. But yeah, the questions were really good. That patenting question was very good. It was just a very good match overall. And yeah, it was a surprising match. I didn't think that match would really go anywhere, but it just felt like before I watched that match, it was going to be like, oh, hey, it's just another middle of the week match before the finals for the Intergeekdom tournament. But it was actually a really good match, and I like it, and so it was good. And I'm going to tell you this, Chris, I haven't seen The Warriors, so that's on my list. But
Oh, I'll tell you. I freaking love that movie. I'll never forget. I came across it by accident, and it's just you got James Remar in there. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he played Raiden in Mortal Kombat 2, where he's like a real badass. It's a really solid film. You got another guy in there who looks a lot like a young Sean Penn. Like when I initially watched it for the first time, I thought it was Sean Penn. It's a cool ass film. I mean, I won't get too far off topic here from the Schmoedown, but basically a gang called the Warriors are being framed for a murder that they didn't do, and they gotta make their way all the way back to Coney Island, and they come across numerous gangs trying to do that. And it's just a really good film.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to it
Paddington's
yet.
a better film.
I can't
Haven.
speak on that.
Haven, I want to call an audible here. We got somebody who would like to join us on this stream, so I'm going to add this person to the Schmoedown All Access chat and bring him in.
Ooh, mystery guest.
Nice.
oh, yay.
Drum roll.
Someone's trying to interrupt my debut. I'm kidding.
Hold on 1 second. Let me add this person.
Yeah, I seen Paddington, the first film. I bought that for like Caleb was saying, for a niece of mine. I was just like, oh, you know, I'll buy the movie, and it was actually a pretty cute movie. The first one, I didn't get a chance to see the second one yet, but the first one was a cute little movie. You know, hour and a half. 90 minutes, whatever it was. It was cute. You know, so once the question came up, I was like, oh, Marmalade. I was like, oh, that's, so when he didn't get it, I was like, oh, he must have just not seen it.
Yeah. There's a scene in the second one with Brendan Gleeson where the bear gives him like this stare, and Brendan Gleeson gets so afraid, and it's great because it's Brendan Gleeson, and you're seeing, the tough guy from In Bruges getting scared of a little teddy bear, and it's hilarious.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely a surprise movie. I don't think it's that kind of kids movie you don't really think, oh, hey, I gotta watch this. This movie's gonna suck, and it's actually a pretty surprising film for both of them. So,
yeah, it was kind of reminding me of like Wes Anderson with some of the stuff in the direction.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go to Haven. Haven, what were your thoughts on the post match? With the setup for Bibiani and Draco.
I thought that Mark Draco he's a genius when it comes to sarcastic, dry comedy. He has a sarcastic humor. And Bibbs is just a natural, wonderful human being. He says weird stuff. They were both like they weren't even making complete sentences or even having a conversation. It was so weird.
Well, then you remember that? Didn't you? Sorry, didn't you recognize that scene? It was from X-Men.
Yeah, like I said, it was just weird, but it was fun. It was I can't wait to see those guys because those guys are both just great competitors. I can't wait for them to throw down.
Yeah, and hey, our buddy Sean Sandberg is here. What's up?
Not too much. You've been asking me to do this for the last little while, and I haven't been able to do it. So figured I'd hop on and have a little bit of fun talking about the Schmoedown.
C-Dub, I gotta ask, how do you know Jimmy Kimmel?
Wow. I don't even know you, bird-looking motherfucker.
I'm just teasing.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
I'm just messing around.
Yeah, I know.
So, Sean, want to give us your thoughts on Andrejko and Irwin?
I was really surprised with the way that it turned out. I thought that Irwin had this in the bag. That really surprised me that Andrejko wound up pulling it off. Mind you, that's not a shot against Mark Andrejko whatsoever because he's a fantastic competitor. But more so, it's just the dominance Ethan Irwin has showed. And even throughout that match, up until his last question, that guy was just on fire. I mean, outside of the last question, he only missed one, correct?
No. He missed one question in round 2, and he missed 2 of his 3 in round 3.
Yeah,
that's right.
I was saying before, after that first round, he had the perfect round. I know if it were me down by 4 to Ethan Irwin after round 1, I wouldn't be feeling good.
No, definitely. That would be a lot of pressure put on you. I mean, especially like with that guy's level of knowledge. Like, for starters, did anyone hear stay as an answer?
No,
What?
I had no idea.
Did anyone get the Sean Connery, John Wayne longest day?
I did. I've seen.
No,
You did.
I've seen that movie. It's a good movie.
I've seen it, but I didn't know it.
Assume so, but I've never seen it personally. I hadn't actually even heard of it. So
Yeah, I actually
good on you for actually getting that. But I mean, I think that the majority of people wouldn't have gotten that.
Oh yeah, I knew that was a deep cut question.
I guess Bridge on the River Kwai.
Well, that's Alec Guinness, man.
And William Holden.
I took a shot in the dark.
Yeah,
David Lee and Alec Guinness.
Yeah, but no, it was overall it was a really great match, and I was very surprised with the outcome, but I was also incredibly impressed. The post-match stuff, though, I don't know if I've ever laughed harder at a moment during the Schmoedown when Bibbs was like, "I'm gonna win this. This would be really nice for me." Like, I was absolutely crying with laughter. It was great.
Yeah, and how about that post-credit scene with the X-Men?
I actually didn't see that. I didn't check that out. But
when they were playing
you
chess.
should. It was great. It was a great callback for X-Men. Andrejko had a line, "Tell me, do you bleed?" And the music was really solid.
Okay.
That's what people out there watch the post-credit scenes. They usually are pretty awesome.
That was from Superman versus Batman. Do you bleed?
Yeah, there were like so many different movie references in that.
There was.
Also, C-Dub, I just want to say I checked it, and there was no Sleepy Hollow question in round 2 for Andrejko. It was Beetlejuice, Big Fish, Edward Scissorhands, and Sweeney Todd.
Oh, okay. Thanks. All right, so that pretty much covers it. We also, in the post-match for Ethan Irwin, Jay Washington showed up because, as we know, Ethan's going to be teaming up with Janine, and Jay said, maybe you get a Viper Squad tattoo or a T-shirt. That was pretty cool. And you guys have any thoughts about that?
Yeah. Yes.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, first off, I don't like Jay Washington. I really don't. I've never been a fan of this guy. Well, I like the guy. I don't like his character. I don't. And I think Ethan Irwin, is way too better to be a part of that. I honestly was hoping maybe he'd go to Fight Club or something like that. But, maybe he'd shock a lot of people, or maybe go Lions Club, because Lions Club is I think better than Jace anyway.
Well, the Lions Den
Controversial.
is dead.
Yeah, they're not around anymore.
You never know. They might come back.
Nah.
I mean, maybe if Finstock.
No, I'm kidding. I know they're not back. I'm kidding. They're not coming back. But no, I wish they would. But it is what it is.
The iteration of the Lions Den that was, and JTE and Finstock and Ken Knapsack, that's gone. But JTE and Finstock are still together. I think it's not so much that they're gone; it's more of a rebuilding process.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, you don't know what their faction is going to be called if they do start one, but we do have the Knights of Ken with Ken and Mark Donica.
Just call themselves the Losers Club.
As far as that Jay Washington bit, Jay Washington as a character, his character is either super funny and really entertaining and great, or he's kind of annoying. And this is one where he was super funny and entertaining. It was really great. He was kind of channeling a little bit of Mike Kalinowski, a little bit with that kind of attitude, like, thank me, you should be so happy. And it really worked. I thought Jay was really entertaining this one. Props to him.
Definitely.
Overall, the Janine and Ethan teaming up, it'll be interesting to say the least. Jay Watt issues with that guy. I shouldn't say that. I've got a couple of bones to pick with him, but overall, I think it'll, if nothing else, it'll be an entertaining team up. And Jay being their manager will definitely be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like I said, when we talked about the whole Anarchy tournament, Chance and Kalinowski's my pick to win this thing, but Janine and Ethan,
they're going to win the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm predicting. But Janine and Ethan, I think they can go far. Alrighty, sure. Haven, do you have anything to add to the Jay Washington cameo, or?
Nope.
Alright, well, moving on, we had the next match, the finals for this whole Inner Geekdom tournament. We had the amazing Brown Dwarf Star Mark Hanopik taking on KO Mike Kalinowski. Now, let me say at the top of this, now, we've seen in Mara's match against Rachel that they were both sick, and, she was a warrior for competing in that match. Now, once again, I spoke to Mara yesterday about this match, congratulating her, and she told me once again she wasn't feeling, so well. So, again, to you, Mara, kudos for having, the resilience for competing in this match. Yeah, you're a trooper. So in this first round, Mike he got off to a hot start. He got his first 9 questions right. He was going for that perfect round, but the 10th question he stumbled was, what new rule in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is instituted in the film? He guessed they have to be over a certain age. Mara also got it wrong. Incorrect. She guessed at least over 16. For me personally, also, I thought it was at least 16, but the answer was 17. But Mike, he was out, had the lead 9-8. Sean, I'll go to you first. Like, who did you want to win this match, and your thoughts on that first round?
I didn't really have a dog in this fight. I like Mara Knopik quite a bit now. Just because I love her dry sense of humor. I mean, she's really funny. Like, I just love how it's just like there's this air of like, okay, whatever, man, I don't give a fuck. Like, just like that is the definition of her personality, at least as a character. And I really enjoy that. But I also kind of go back to your interview with Bibiani. Bibiani said something that was really, really interesting to me, that Kalinowski was like Puck from A Midsummer Night's Dream. He was messing with things, not so much that he was a villain, but more so because he could. And it wasn't necessarily that he was a heel, but he was sort of in this weird area. And I've really enjoyed seeing Mike Kalinowski like that. That being said, like I said, I didn't really have a dog in this fight because I'm not super huge fans of either, but both of them are really growing on me a lot. So I was just looking forward to seeing, especially with how Kalinowski's played over the last little while, seeing these two go up against one another. And I was really impressed with the outcome of the match. That being said, I do think Kalinowski probably should have challenged on his Harry Potter question. His answer was slightly vague, but he was not incorrect.
Well, I mean, the answer was they had to be at least 17, and he didn't write 17. He just said they have to be over a certain age.
But if that was the case, then ask for what age it needed to be. Don't just say what the stipulation was. Ask for what age it was that they had to be. Because technically, he is correct in what he said.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine line.
He could have challenged that, and he could have made a very persuasive argument for why he should have gotten that question correct.
Yeah, possibly. Caleb, I'll go to you first. Your thoughts coming into this match, the first round, and what do you think about Sean? Do you agree with Sean or not?
Yeah, as far as coming into this match, I was really unsure who I thought was going to win and who I wanted to win, because I got to tell you, these are both two powerhouse players, and these are both two players who, in their own way, I really like. Mara is, kind of the new face on the block, and she's great. She's hilarious, and she's super skilled. She is going to be Rookie of the Year. I am very confident she's going to be Rookie of the Year at this point. I love Mara. And Mike Kalinowski, ever since, I did not really like Mike Kalinowski that much when he was, just kind of a face. But now that, ever since he turned heel, I've loved his heel work. I thought that he's just been so entertaining. So it was so hard, and they've both been playing so well. So I wasn't really sure who I wanted to win and who I thought was going to win. As far as that first round goes, both players played as well as I expected them to. They both played very well. As far as that Harry Potter question goes, I think both of them should have gotten it right, because the answer was they have to be 17. Mars said they must be over 16. Over 16 is the same as 17. And I also think I agree with Sean and what he's saying with Kalinowski. With Kalinowski saying of a certain age, because they didn't ask for the age. So I think both those players should have gotten the question right.
Okay, I understand. I think it's a fine line. But
yeah, I agree.
Haven?
Sure, but specificity does matter, though.
Yeah.
Especially in stuff like that. Specificity definitely matters.
I really want to hear Chris Day's thoughts on this, since he's had some history with questions that aren't specific enough.
God damn you, Caleb.
Let's go to Haven first.
Oh, yeah.
When I was up here last week, when I made my pick, I knew it was kind of but then on the poll, and in the fantasy league polls and stuff like that, I picked Mara to win. Mike, he's been a hell of a player, man. Me and him, we go back and forth all the time on Facebook. We were talking a little trash to each other yesterday about something that'll come up in a little bit. But I just love how Mara comes out with the cool attitude. She's different than all the other women on there. She does have kind of like that bar humor, like she doesn't mind cussing or she comes out in Chewbacca onesie. That was pretty cool. I read somebody online on YouTube, during the comments, somebody was like, "Oh man, I thought that after the match she would have like unzipped the the onesie and had like a corruption shirt on. I was like, oh shit, but I'm glad that didn't happen. Mike, I don't know about the Harry Potter question because I don't give a fuck about Harry Potter, but Mike played tough that first round, man. 9 points in the first round. And Mara was she didn't trail behind by too much. So, she was able to make a game out of it. And the first round was good. They both played well the first round.
Yeah, I mean, I can say the questions, they were pretty good. They were right up my alley. Like, I got the first question wrong with Lord of the Rings, and then I got the Harry Potter question wrong, but I got the other 8. So, I mean, I did pretty good myself. Chris, what are you ready to talk about?
I'll say this. A lot of you guys know, who are good friends with me on this channel, is that everybody has a Schmoedown crush. Mine is Mara. She's probably my favorite competitor. I would say that. I mean, I never really had a big favorite. She's probably my favorite, I would say. I'm just a huge fan of hers overall, and she's like the reason why I'm even doing an IG here, like in our league, and she killed it. Like, she did really good. She trailed at times, especially in the first round, but she killed it. I haven't talked about this, but I think I love Kalinowski's heel turn. I love it. I think it's very I love the way that they did it. I love the way that they brought to it. It was very interesting, especially with the whole DC news and how that would go and the corruption. And we'll talk about it, but in the very end, he didn't really have, attitude. He didn't have that. And he was kind of, some people thought, is he going face or is he going to stay heel? He kind of felt like he had this, like, where am I going now? But, I just think it's my favorite match of the year. But I think in response to Caleb's fucking question and his remark about it, I understand that you might not really have thought and it didn't go the way you thought it was and you tried your best. I could tell that they couldn't do that, and I understood that. But I think for me, what really positively did that was they were both frustrated, but they understood. And that's something I didn't handle very, very well. But I understand that, and I think that was a really noble gesture. I was expecting something from Mike, to be honest. But overall, it was amazing first round.
So, since you said that Mara is your favorite competitor, I bet you're pretty jealous that me and Haven got to interview her.
Oh, I was going to text Haven and say I want in on that. And I forgot. So, yeah. I hate you guys sometimes.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, that makes 2 people on this stream that were unable to interview their favorite competitor. So,
yeah. I mean, if she watches and she finds out that I'm here, hi. But no, it's fine. It's a joke. I love it. But no, that was an amazing interview. And yeah, I'm really proud of you guys for that.
Yeah, thanks, and yeah, it was a kick-ass interview. I loved every second of it. All right, so yeah, moving on to round 2, and we're gonna cover round 2 and 3 at the same time. Like I said, Mike was up 9-8. He deferred like he always does, at least recently. Mara, she spins Harry Potter. She sticks with it. I mean, she did the best she could. She got 3 out of 5 for 5 points. It was a little strange on question 4 that she didn't go multiple choice. It was whose 2 wands did Harry have after he stole them in the Deathly Hallows Part 1? She couldn't come up with Bellatrix Lestrange, and then Mike, he missed on a steal attempt on that. And then Mike, he once again lucks out. He gets spinner's choice. He goes with DCEU and does pretty well, getting 4 out of 5 for 7 points. Mara was unable to capitalize on a steal, so Mike was up 16-13. So going into the betting round, Mike spins Star Trek. He bets 1 point. Mara bets 2. The question was, what is the name of the Klingon planet that the crew traveled to take Conan into custody in Star Trek Into Darkness? They both got that correct. Kronos. Haven, I'll go to you first. What were your thoughts on that second and third round? And did you know Kronos?
I'm sorry, you on me or my fault?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. I had to step outside. What was the question?
Your thoughts on the second and third round, and did you know the betting round question, Chronos?
Chronos. I'm not sure. Wait, this was a 5-round match.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. Where the third round was the betting round.
Okay. Yeah, man, the spinning round was cool. Mike got spinner's choice again, which seemed like, I was like, oh shit, this guy's getting everything in his favor. But Mara, she played well. The spinning round question, Chronos. No, I can't even remember what question it was or what it was about. I must have missed that one.
What is the name of the Klingon planet that the crew traveled to take Khan into custody in Star Trek Into Darkness?
No, I had no clue of that. Yeah, I had no clue of that one. But yeah, Mara played well in the second round, and Mike, he got spinner's choice. So I was just like, oh shit. And then once we get to the next round, I thought it was gonna be a little lopsided. The way he kept getting the advantage.
Yeah, Chris.
Your mic's muted, Chris.
The mic's off. Stupid.
Sorry about that. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I didn't really know the Chronos question at all. But I will say it was a really good match, and it wasn't really the one for me. I think the one for me was round 5, but I thought it was a pretty good round overall.
Sean?
To answer your question, I missed the Chronos question. I just had a total brain fart on it. Round 2 was interesting to me because you sort of saw the disparity between all the Harry Potter. There's so many Harry Potter films. So with how many times it's been spun, yeah, there are going to be some more deep cut questions for sure. But there's also a lot more stuff that's plot oriented or whatever, that's a little bit easier. With DCEU, since there's such few films, I found that Kalinowski's questions tended to be more deep cut, Like I said, with such a limited filmography and with how many times it's been spun, you have to go into the well at this point. And so I was really impressed with how Kalinowski played during that round. Yeah, overall, I just found it to be a little bit lopsided in terms of how difficult the questions were somewhat. But like I said, overall, I was really impressed with both players in round 2. And yeah, I missed the Chronos question.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm a big fan of the Harry Potter films, but some of them deep cut questions, Mara's first 2 questions were really easy. The first one was, I'm trying to remember what the first question was. I forgot it. But her second question was, who played Ron in the films?
Yeah,
that was pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, and comparatively, the Unity is only brought up one time during Justice League when the 3 mother boxes come together. That is mentioned one time whatsoever.
Well, actually, no. It was mentioned a couple times. Wonder Woman mentioned it when her and Bruce are walking by the lake. She mentions it.
Okay, when else was it mentioned?
Steppenwolf says it in the film.
Okay, but it is definitely more deep cut than who played Ron Weasley, correct?
I mean, yeah, it is, but I knew that without multiple choice. I thought it was pretty easy. What does Bruce Wayne say to the Flash when he asks what his superpower?
Oh, so yeah, that's in the trailer. Like don't get me wrong, that one's easy too.
And then the Incubus question, I couldn't remember it, but I did know it on multiple choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other question, the Enchantress's
that
was round 5 question. That was round 5.
Yeah, the June Moon question.
Yeah, that was round 5 though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait.
But yeah, I thought I did better with the DCEU questions than with Harry Potter. Caleb?
Yeah, as far as round 2 goes, good round 2 from both competitors. I mean, yeah, the first 2 questions were easy. The first question in the Harry Potter one was what animal does hair release from the zoo?
Oh,
Snake.
Yeah. Snake. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was easy, and so was the Rupert Grint one. But those last two were not easy. I couldn't pull either of those two. But yeah, good from both of them. I couldn't get Kronos. I did not remember that. I'm not a big Star Trek guy, so especially the newer ones, I've only seen Into Darkness once. I don't want to say that these inner geekdom questions with Justice League kind of make me not like Justice League the more I hear them, because they're these easy questions that I don't get, and I realize that the movie just kind of flew in one ear and out the other for me. Like, I can't tell you even, like, I couldn't even remember the mother box's name, like what those things were called. I don't remember anything about Justice League.
Yeah, I mean, I like the movie, but it was a disappointing film, but I did like it. And for me personally, growing up, I loved Star Wars, and I tried so hard to love Star Trek. Now, I like a couple of the older films, but I know JJ didn't direct all three, but I've loved this new trilogy, and Into Darkness is my favorite Star Trek film, so it took me a couple of seconds, but I did remember Kronos, but I've watched Into Darkness at least 30 times. So, yeah, it was a fairly easy question for me. And, yeah, after round 3, Mike was still in the lead, 17-15. Now, in the speed round, this is where Mike, he started to distance himself, and it appeared that it was pretty much over. He got Mara didn't even get an answer in, attempted an answer. Mike got the first one right, then the second one wrong, and then got the next 3 correct. So he was up 20-15. So we moved on to round 5. Mike gives his numbers 3, 8, and 13. Mara goes with 9, 2, and 7. On Mara's 2-pointer, in 2009 Star Trek, Sulu was proficient in what kind of combat? She got that correct. Fencing. Her 3-pointer, in the category of The Hobbit, who plays the Master of Lake Town in the Hobbit series? She gets that correct. Stephen Fry. So we moved on to Mike for his 2-pointer, category of scores and soundtracks. And question was, who composed the score for Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2? He guessed Brian Tyler. The answer was Tyler Bates. So moving on to his 3-pointer, category of DCEU. In David Ayer's Suicide Squad, what is the name of the Enchantress's alter ego? He got that correct. June Moon. Take it bounce it back to Mara for 5-pointer. Indiana Jones is their category. What artifact is briefly recovered by young Indiana at the beginning of The Last Crusade? She got that correct. The Cross of Coronado. So here we are again, down to the 5-pointer for Mike, category MCU. He's probably, I'm sure he was thinking, I should have this in the bag. Question was, name the 2 robotic arms that Tony Stark utilizes in his lab, as mentioned in Iron Man films and Homecoming. And he couldn't come up with a correct answer. He ended up guessing Laurel and Hardy. The correct answer was Dumb E and You. And Mara gets victory, 25-23. Now I'll say this. Mara, her 2-pointer, her 2-pointer was easy, but her 3 and 5, I'm not a big Lord of the Rings and Hobbit guy, so I didn't know those answers. I keep saying Lord of the Rings. Indiana Jones. Those questions were incredibly difficult. And there's been some
don't even lie, Woodburn. You've never seen any of the Indiana Jones films.
Yeah, I haven't seen them.
What?
He watches more
I
Batman.
haven't seen one of them.
Except the shit turd 4th one. I did see that one.
Why, dude? Come on, man.
Yeah, I know. It's something I gotta rectify in the future, and it will be done someday. I promise.
The first one's amazing.
Yeah.
The 3rd one's dope
The
as
third
fuck.
one's one of the best action movies I've ever seen. Well, action adventure.
Hands down.
I agree. I'm one for the first movie. It's clearly my favorite, just because it's a huge impact to why I wanted to do action movies when I did. It's a big inspiration to me in that category. It's one of my favorite films, easily in the top 15. But I understand, but I'm just disappointed you've only seen 4 because 4 is terrible. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And
pretty sure.
like I said, there's been some controversy on Mike's 5-pointer. People claiming that they know it. Kanowski and others are saying they're lying. Like, for me personally, I did know Dumb E. And I can recall him saying, "Hey, you," throughout the films, but never once did I think that was the actual name. But I did know Dumb E, because I remember him saying it in Iron Man 3. He even had the hat with that written on there. Hayden, I'll go to you first. Your thoughts on the speed round, the match in general.
Well, the speed round, because of the outcome of the match, no spoilers here. We know Mara won. But man, Mike was killing that speed round. She's going to have to practice before she plays Jason Inman because they're going to have a 5-round match for that title.
Yeah.
And she needs to, because I know those questions weren't too hard. She just wasn't fast enough on that trigger. So she's going to have to practice that before the live event because that might hurt her, the next time around. Because Mike, man, because Mike had a 5-point lead after the 4th round. And I was like, oh, shit. So she's gonna have to get a lot better, just smacking that button and just coming up with the answer. Mike played a hell of a speed round, and take nothing away from him there. Yeah, like I said, I've seen it on YouTube, and I was on Facebook yesterday talking to Mike. He actually brought my name up out of everybody else's. He was like, yeah, one guy, Ryan Kooston, I believe is his last name. He has 3. Ryan
Casey Duncan.
Yep, Duncan, that's his name. Hey, Ryan Duncan, what up, homie? Yeah, so I guess he was like, yeah, man, there's 7 people lying that they knew the answer. And Mike was like, yep, especially Haven. So I had to jump in and say my piece. And, Mike said some other stuff. But it's one of those things that, like, if he would have got that answer right, a lot of people would have been applauding and impressed. He didn't know it. He got it. He couldn't think of anything. He didn't get it. So now everybody's making it a big deal. Like, oh man, that's the hardest 5-point question of all time. No, it's fucking not. There's been harder questions. I mean, it's one of those things you don't think about unless you watch those movies. And if you would have watched Homecoming and Iron Man and, looked out for those things, you would have knew it. But, Malcolm Goldie Lay, he knew it. He's another good buddy of mine. He said he knew the answer. A couple other people knew the answer. But people are now, everybody's, oh, my God, that was the hardest 5-point question. It's only a hard question if you don't know it, It's one of those things you don't probably look for. But Mike played a hell of a game, and I told him that, when I messaged him on the Facebook page. I don't private message him. I said, hey, man, mad props. He was doing it big, man. And that's the thing about the IG matches. Unless they start bringing in a couple other films, these questions are going to get harder and harder because they have to. You can't keep having easy ass questions in the 3rd round or 5th round. So they're going to be more deep cut, more extreme questions because there's only so many films they could pull from.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, yeah, and I agree with you. It's not the hardest 5-pointer. For me, Mara's 5-pointer was way harder. I had no idea. And as far as her match with Inman goes, and the speed round in particular, I would like to think, we had Rachel Cushing show up in the post-match congratulating her, and she'll be rooting for Mara. Even though Mara isn't a Fight Club member, I'd like to think that they would help get her prepared for that match like they did for Clark Wolf in her match against Stan.
You don't need the damn Fight Club. She already has somebody that can help her that's way more experienced than any of those Fight Club pretenders.
Well,
yeah, but he's a member of the Horsemen. He's on the same faction as Jason Inman. That's the thing.
Yeah. All right, Caleb, I'll go on to you next.
Yeah, Mike Kalinowski was great in this speed round, like so good. Rivaling Sam Levine as the king of the speed round there, Mara was, killing it in that 3rd round. Those were, especially, I agree, the Hobbit question and the Indiana Jones questions, those were tough ones. Kalinowski, he, had a tough 3rd round. or fifth round, I should say. Excuse me. But that dummy and you question, I understand maybe getting dummy, but you could hear just think that they're saying, hey, you, as in YOU and not you. I think it's incredibly hard to understand that that's the robot's name. So I think that was a very hard question. Is it the hardest? I don't know. I mean, I kind of have to look at every single 5-point question there is. I think it was harder than the Indiana Jones question. But yeah, I mean, because, I felt like it was kind of at the tip of my tongue because, CW, you haven't seen Indiana Jones, but that scene, that's a pretty memorable scene in Last Crusade. So I think if you've seen the scene,
it belongs in a museum.
Yeah, get off my plane, Dad. But yeah, I think that was a tough question. Overall, both players played really well. That is a match of the year contender as well. And as far as Mara versus Inman, that's gonna be tough. And Mara kind of mentioned that Dan Murrell, who's her boyfriend, that's kind of putting him in the middle of things because he's on the Horseman with Jason Inman, but he's also the boyfriend of Mara. So, that's putting him between a rock and a hard place right there.
Well, she never,
like Mara said.
She never mentioned them by names. We probably shouldn't assume. They're probably just good friends. We shouldn't get into their personal business.
Well, I don't know.
Don't let my fantasy go away.
It's all playful kayfabe. But like Mara said, it is quite the conundrum. Sean?
Just to quickly address the whole Mara Dan Murrell thing. I ran into Dan Murrell in Hollywood a few years ago. And unless he split up with the girl that he was with, I know he was with her for quite a while. I don't know if it's him and Mara dating one another.
I know it
is.
Yeah.
Are they? Oh.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow, okay. I did not see him with her then. Unless
well,
I'm
you guys,
totally fucking blank.
You guys just killed my moment. Thanks.
Man. Okay. Anyways, Kalinowski killed it in the speed round. The fifth round was definitely interesting. I was really surprised Kalinowski didn't pull it off with how much of a lead he had. I figured he was going to be going in strong. He was probably going to pull it off. No, Konopik really deserves to be Rookie of the Year after that match. And I agree with Caleb 100% that I think that is definitely a match of the year contender. I would say that the next Bibiani versus Andreyko match, if it lives up to the first one, that is going to be match of the year. Without question, that will be match of the year. But as it stands currently, you could make a very strong case for this previous match with Kalinowski and Konopik being match of the year. I mean, the Cross of Coronado was definitely a very memorable scene. And everyone remembers River Phoenix stealing that cross as young Indiana Jones in that movie, if you've seen it. Sorry, Woodburn, I know that you haven't, but that's what happens. And it's where he gets the whip and the hat, and it's an iconic scene. It is truly, truly awesome. As far as Kalinowski with You Dummy, that's a tricky question. That's a really challenging question. I didn't get that question. I never thought that would have been their names. Maybe I just totally spaced on it, but yeah, I never would have guessed that would have been the two names for those arms. And that's a tricky question. And yeah, Haven, you are correct in saying it's only difficult if you don't know it. But that goes for any question. That goes for absolutely any question. There's questions I could ask you guys about, The Elephant Man or The Big Short or a film that I really love where I'd be like, how do you not know that one? And it's just but it would be something that you just be like, well, pay that close of attention to it, or I just didn't know it, and with that, I would say, yeah, that was a tricky question. That was definitely a tricky question.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like I said, I knew Dummy because he had the hat in Iron Man 3 at the beginning of the film, and Tony's like, hey, Dummy, hey, Dummy. Like, that's why, but hey, you, like, I remember him saying that throughout the movies, but I never thought it was an actual name.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have even put those two things together.
Yeah. Chris? Hey, you got something to say, Haven?
I'm sorry?
You have something to say, Haven?
No, wait.
Oh, okay, Chris?
The Cross Coronado itself is one of the greatest scenes in movies, period. Love it.
100%.
It's a hard question if you don't know it. Like, it is. But it also, I mean, going back to that, it's a tough question, but it also was a performance that could have gained River Phoenix stardom if the unfortunate stuff didn't happen. But besides that, talking about the Schmoedown, some of the questions are hard, but I understand the dummy thing. I just think that's the funniest name that Tony Stark could give a robot, and that's why I'm laughing, because I love that name. I didn't know it, but I love that name. I think that name is hilarious. But yeah, no, it was an amazing match. It's probably is my favorite match of the year so far, and I have nothing to comment on the Dan Merle thing, so I'll give it back to you.
Well, I want to say, though, I got to disagree that film, I mean, yeah, I haven't seen it, but I got to disagree that film made River Phoenix a star, because I personally think that was Stand By Me, which came out before that.
Yeah. But no, like that, I meant like it would have gained him more stardom, for sure, if the things that didn't happen happened. I meant like that. I apologize.
Also, I'm pretty sure Explorers came out before Stand By Me. So that's kind of the one that propped River Phoenix up into that, at least kind of made people aware of him.
Yeah.
No, one thing I was going to add was that when Mike was on the Facebook page yesterday, he was saying how, that question was super hard, that after the match he asked Mara, he asked Rachel, they called Hector Navarro to see if he knew the answer, and nobody. And, he was basically saying, like, all the top IG players didn't know the answer. So, that's why he lost, because it was a super hard question. I mean, it is what it is. Me and Mike always go back and forth and shit. But like I said, he played a hell of a match, man. I respected his interview after. He didn't bitch. He didn't complain. He took it like a man. And that was actually really commendable.
I thought it was his best post-match interview, period. I loved it. Did you all feel the same?
Agreed.
It's pretty dope.
Agree. I agree a lot. I think that it was his best for me.
I don't know about that. He's given a lot of great interviews. Him and Jen Sturger, when he's being a heel, a straight up heel, I think he's super entertaining. So I don't know. I'd really have to watch each interview, in succession to really, figure out what my favorite is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I loved how blunt he was, and he was very congratulating of Mara.
Yeah.
Jen asked, were you impressed by Mara? He's like, I've been impressed from day one. Like, I love that. Like, and like, to go off of what Sean was saying earlier, about whether he's a heel, I think he's more along the lines, like, if this was the Star Wars universe, he's a dark Jedi. What do you guys? Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I call him a heel because that's the easier classification. But if I have to say, I'd probably call him an anti-hero,
Yes, absolutely. He's a Punisher.
Yeah. I mean, like, not going to lie, him calling people sheep and flipping off the camera at the end of the matches and stuff, it's definitely heel moves. But,
yeah.
But at the exact same time, which, by the way, he commented on something that I posted and then deleted it. And I'm wondering what he said to me that that prompted him to actually do that. Because all I was saying to him was, so I was supposed to play Chance before Chance left for the big time. And I was like, thanks a lot, Mike. I was actually supposed to play him, and the guy's like the best competitor I've ever seen. So thanks a billion for that one. Now I don't get to test my mettle against him. And he wrote something, then deleted it, and I'm just like, what did he say? Like, because what prompted
to know that as well?
Did he say something so bad that he was like, oh man, I took it too far? Like, I gotta wonder, but no, overall, I do think Kalinowski's sort of dancing on that line of being a heel a little bit. Like, and it wasn't until Bibiani really brought it up in that interview, and he stated it so eloquently that I was like, you know what? He's got a real genuine point to that. And so, yeah, I don't know how I'd classify Mike Kalinowski right now. I'd say he's just, Havens might be the only person familiar with this, but he kind of strikes me a little bit like Mr. Mitzias Pitlick or Batmind, where he's sort of a guy that's just messing with everything because he can. I don't know if he's a bad guy necessarily, but he's definitely different. He's definitely a unique character, and it's something I think the Schmoedown really needs right now.
Oh yeah, this whole corrupted thing has been great for the league. I don't care what anybody says.
Agreed.
Oh, I agree. I agree completely.
All right, well,
it changed the game of nerdom. I mean, geekdom. Why do I keep saying nerd? It changed geekdom. Like, it completely changed geekdom. I don't think anybody doesn't want to admit this, but that tournament might have been the best thing for inter-geekdom in my eyes.
Oh, absolutely.
And maybe that's just it is.
It's definitely been the most entertaining that inter-geekdom has been in a while. And let's face it, you do need to do things to spice up the matches. Like randomly shuffling teams as well. Like, let's face it, man. You do the same thing over and over and over and over again, and it becomes stagnant. It becomes stale, and it's not as entertaining as it was right at the beginning. I'm doing all the different stuff that he's done and it's been written for him, where it's like other people are coming up for it, or if it's his like genuine ideas to do all these different things. But if it is, then man, fuck, he shook up the entire game, and that's something you like. Say what you will about him losing tomorrow, but like that guy changed the game more than maybe any other competitor in the actions that he's had, if that is the case. Like, and that's like that's something you really got to commend the guy on. I think that guy's a fucking man for that.
Go ahead, Chris.
I think if you were given anybody to kind of lead a division, I think Mike Kalinowski would be the perfect guy to lead the Intergeekdom down the line. I do. I think that this is a guy who obviously knows how this division is working, and that is the honest truth.
Well, it also doesn't hurt that he's been on soap operas before, and he kind of knows how to play the whole wrestling angle to these things as well.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Well, he knows. He knows about soap opera storylines, and this has really worked very much in his favor. So,
yeah. Well, unless anybody has anything else to add, we can talk about this upcoming week's matches.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Unless anybody else got anything to say.
I can only say for about like 10 more minutes, but I can, yeah.
Well, that's probably about how long we're gonna go for.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds
you
good.
say that, and it's going to turn into 30 minutes. I already know you would, Burn.
All right, well, on Tuesday, we got the championship match. I mean, we've already talked about it. Bibiani and Draco 2. Now, the first match, it was an instant classic. They both made their debuts. Bibiani won that match. And now we're getting the sequel for the belts. Me and Haven interviewed Bibiani. He's an amazing, awesome competitor. I got to give Andrico the slight edge here. I don't know why. I mean, it can go either way. Caleb, I'll go to you first. Who are you picking in this match?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be Bibiani. I mean, it's going to be close. No matter what, it's going to be close. But I'm going to give the slight edge to Bibiani. I think right now he is on kind of a hot streak. You know, he's done super well ever since the free for all. He's done really, really well. So, yeah, as far as, you know, Andreyko has too, but I don't know. There's something that really makes me want to say that Bibiani is going to be the champion, but either of those two would be great as champions, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. Sean?
Growl, growl.
Yeah, I knew you'd go there. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, for starters, he's one of my favorite. I would say, actually, yeah. I mean, it's him and Merle. They're my favorite competitors. I love watching Bibbs compete because it's constantly a learning experience for me. Just watching that guy is like his retention is insanity, and you know I know Andreyko is going to want to get that W back, but you know I don't know if you want to go in and play Bibiani when he's already beaten you. That's the added confidence of having already beaten this person, going for a title, and then on top of that, Bibiani's overall skill level. I think that might prove to be a little too much for Mark Andreyko, especially given the way that the Ethan Irwin match went. He did win, but I don't know, man. I think Bibbs is just going to be a little too much for him right now.
I mean, I think that the big questions are surrounding all of this. Now, Bibbs, you know, he's had a couple of KO victories, so he hasn't had to go to the third round. But I can't imagine him KOing Andreyko, and it's going to come down to that. I mean, the speed round's going to be big, but that first round, I mean, is Bibiani going to be able to finish? That's the big question.
I feel like that gets brought up more than it actually should be, to be honest with you. Because, look, how many people here on this stream, we've all competed in movie trivia. How many people have lost here at movie trivia?
Well, we've all lost.
We've all lost.
Yeah.
Losses happen. I don't think that it's indicative of Bibiani's overall skill set. Like, people talk about him being as though he just chokes under the pressure. I don't think that that's the case. I think that overall what happens is you hit a blind spot sometimes. And that's happened to every single one of us.
Yeah.
That's happened to every single one of us. Like Woodburn, our first match that we played together, you knew David Cronenberg, but it fucking you just spaced on it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that wasn't something that, you know, I don't think that that's indicative of your skill level as a competitor. And I would say the same thing about Bibiani. You know, that's just my personal opinion on the matter. He is also probably my favorite competitor. And it also doesn't hurt that he gave me a shout out during your guys' interview as well. So I'm a little bit biased. I'm being totally upfront and honest here. I'm definitely a touch biased when it comes to rooting for Bibbs on this one.
You are correct in the fact. I mean, he's in the championship match for a reason. He annihilated Snyder.
Yeah.
And
who else can say that they beat Jeff Snyder the way that he did? Name me one other
nobody
person.
Except for maybe to a point Drew McWeeny and Sam Levine in that third team match, but other than that, nobody.
Yeah, nobody.
Well, didn't Josh McCouga beat Snyder? Or am I misremembering?
I believe you're.
I thought that was Harloff.
No, it was Harloff that beat Snyder.
Yeah, but I thought early in the beginning, Josh McCouga. Maybe I'm.
No,
the only time McCouga and Snyder faced off was in teams with the Patriots and Mega Powers, and we all remember how that turned out.
That was ancients ago.
Yeah. Haven?
I'm going to pick. I like Andreyko. I just think that he's good, you know, but you could tell, like, I don't know, like everybody that watches usually plays along. So when you're playing along, he's one of those guys you probably say, all right, if I had a good day, I could beat him. Bibiani, when we got to peel back the curtain and talk to him and stuff, Bibiani's always been good, man. And, my money's on Bibiani. I see him having the title.
Yeah.
I want to say that I was incorrect. Josh Makuga did not beat Jeff Snyder, but they did play each other.
Oh, okay.
But Chris Stuckman did beat Jeff Snyder.
That he did.
Yeah, I remember that.
That he did.
That was his debut. I think that was both of their debuts.
No, it was not Jeff Snyder's debut.
No, it's the only
that
time
was
Stuckman's
only match.
Yeah, it's Chris Stuckman's only match because he's out in Ohio.
Yeah, well, to be honest, he's barely in LA as it is. So,
yeah. Humberto Gonzalez was
that was his debut.
Joe
That was a great ass whooping.
Yeah,
great.
Chris?
Yeah, I gotta go. It's been a long time coming for both of these competitors. It felt like yesterday when these guys came onto this league. I can't believe we're already on season. I think it's 5, right?
5.
Yeah.
5, and it's hard to believe we're even on 5. It's crazy, but it's been a long time coming, and we've been waiting for this. And ever since the John Roca thing, it's about damn time. I got Bibbs. It's nice to see that finally 2 of these guys. I don't think Andrenko is going to win now, but I think he will have a belt. Maybe, possibly by end of this year or next year, I think he will have that title eventually. But right now, with Levine retiring, the person who's kind of the guy to take in charge for a while, I think until, Andrenko steps, if he ends up losing, then he'll come back eventually, or even Cushing might get into that status, or Merle. I think right now it's Bibbs. I think Bibbs is taking his advantage. I think he was going to try to take advantage of that tag team title down the line too. But we'll see. It'll be a long time coming. But, I think this is 2 competitors who have been trying to prove themselves. And, like Sean said, Caleb, saying that losses happen. I got 2 KOs in my last 2 matches, both on account of the fact that I didn't study my ass. It's a part of the game. Sean says it. It's a part of the game, and I understand that. So to come back from this and to do everything I have, especially with everything I've gone through, say what you will, but everything I've gone through, I'll give it all my matches. So I understand what Bibbs is going through. So a lot of people, these 2 underdogs, but I got to go Bibbs. I think it's going to be Bibbs on this one.
You also lost because you couldn't pronounce Mindy Kaling correctly.
Don't you damn get me fucking started on that.
All right, you two, calm the fuck down.
There's so many people who have done that. I don't want to hear that. Good talk.
Okay, Tiki Watata.
And let me say, since I'm the only one here taking Draco, Bibbs could very easily win this. I'm not saying he can't.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it's going to be
Bibiani, I am a Fight Club fan, so I'm going to ride with that faction no matter who they're facing.
That's how you disrespect Bibiani after he give you an hour of his time? I'll see how it is.
I love Bibiani.
Man, you just did him dirty. What the hell, man?
I've been trouble showing it.
Bibbs, if you're watching, I love you, and I'm sorry I picked.
Why don't you call up Draco for an interview, buddy?
Oh,
we shall see.
We shall see. We shall see.
All right, so
I would love to see Ellis get interviewed because I've talked to him before. That guy's one of the funniest people I've ever met. So,
dude, his joke about old Yankee Stadium is one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my entire.
I hate the Yankees as much as anybody. I'm a Red Sox fan, but my God, that's probably my favorite joke.
Yeah, that joke is just like there's no
so
fat
good.
on it. There's no fat on that joke. It's perfect.
Yeah.
all right, so let's move on to the second match. We have the team championship match. We got the Shire Wolves, Rachel Cushing and Clark Wolf taking on Brianne Chandler and her mystery teammate. Now, I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. I believe Brianne's teammate is Mara Konopik. Haven, I'll go to you first. Who do you want to win, and who do you think Brianne's partner is?
Well, I already let the cat out the bag yesterday. I'm going to be her partner. Spoilers, guys. Sorry, Christian.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Wait a
No,
second. What the hell? She agreed to be partners
I
with you
don't see
too?
Mara being her
You
partner.
didn't tell me this.
Oh.
God damn it. I thought I was her partner. What the fuck? Shit, I gotta fucking call
Get
her.
your facts straight.
I can't tell who's going to be her partner, to be honest. I don't think it's Mara. I don't see Mara going for another title, especially when she's focused on the ID, you know. So it could, you know, now that Mike Kalinowski lost a title match, maybe he'll jump in. You know, they had a little stuff going on last year, like a little cliffhanger that hasn't been resolved yet. So it could be Mike. Other than that, I have no idea. But Brienne is a hell of a competitor. But I think if the Shire Wolves bring their A game, because both of those women are really strong competitors, they know their stuff. They're not there just to look pretty. They kick ass. I'm going with Shire Wolves.
Chris?
This is a tough one for me. Now, for me, I honestly, and I've said this, it could go either way. When this Friday match happens, people are either going to be shocked or they're going to be like losing their fucking mind over who is the suppressed team partner. However, I do think it's Mike Kalinowski, and it's just because of everything they've gone through, and it wouldn't surprise me. Now, if it becomes a tie chart and it is Maya Knopic, I agree with Haven. I don't see her going with that way, especially with the Geekdom title right now. I would love it, but no, I'm going to go Shire Wolves as well. I think that this is finally the time for the Shire Wolves, and it's been a long time coming, but I'm excited for it. And I'm a big fan of Rachel, and I'm a big fan of sorry, I can't remember her name.
Clark.
I had it in my head. Clark. I'm sorry, yeah, Clark. But this is what I get when I'm hungover. No, but Clark, yes. Yes. Yeah, I do think they're going to win. So that's me.
Sean?
I mean, this is the minefield conversation. You're just like, any step you take might just be a bad one. I'm going to pick against the Shire Wolves for this one. I don't know why. I've just got a gut feeling that Brienne and her partner, which I don't believe is going to be Mike Kalinowski, because I think that would be too easy. I think that would be way too easy. Teasing a surprise a year in advance is just, it's too easy. I don't think they're going to go that route. I think they're going to go with something else. Now, who that may be, I have no idea. I really, genuinely have no idea. But I honestly think Brienne is just in a good place to pull this off. And I would love to see her do it. Now, I might get called a misogynist for doing that. I don't know. But, yeah, I honestly think Brienne's got a good chance of doing it.
Well, I mean, do you put any stock in my prediction of Mora? And if you had to pick somebody, who would you pick?
Mara's not a bad guess in terms of who it might be. If I had to guess who she was going to pick as a team partner. See, the challenging thing here is with corruption, it's already, all the teams have basically been laid out for what's going to be going on next. So I don't know who's left.
Well, but keep in mind, Sean, though, that some of those corruption teams, like, say, if the Shire Wolves if the Shire Wolves do win the belts, then Rachel and, I'm forgetting who people are paired up with, Rachel and that partner aren't going to happen. Clark and the other person aren't going to happen. If Brienne wins, Brienne was teamed up. Let me go to my notes here. I'll recap that.
Brienne is teamed up with one of the Kingsmen. Clark is teamed up with McWeenie, and Cushing is teamed up with Guy.
Oh, Jesus. Clark's teamed up with McWeenie?
Yeah.
And Chance is with Kalinowski, right?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Chance is with Kalinowski.
Yeah. Okay. So to me, with those three, not to totally get off topic, if I had to guess, screw it. I'm going to make a joke guess. I'm going to say Robert Parker. I think Robert Parker's going to be your teammate. By the way, Robert would kick ass. I'm making a joke as in like Robert's actually going to be there, but Robert would fucking kick ass. if he was her partner.
The tiger from Life of Pi?
Robert Parker, as in like Robert the Hobbit Parker from the Trivia Leagues.
Oh, yeah, I don't watch enough trivia. I'm a newbie, so.
Yeah.
That, Kalo.
What?
I said we already know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Robert would be excellent. Man, if McWeeny and Clark are teamed up, Christ almighty, that's a powerhouse team right there. That is a powerhouse team right there. As much as I think her and Rachel are phenomenal together. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that they're both amazing. I do think that, like, her and McWeeny would be just out of this world amazing. It would be her and McWeeny, Chance and Kalinowski, and Roca and Merle would be, like, the three teams that I would be most excited to see. If everything works out where, you know, those teams wind up happening. At least on one end of those things. But, yeah. Fuck, man. That would be amazing.
All right, Caleb.
All right, here's who I think Brienne is going to be teamed up with. We just mentioned him. I think he's going to team up with Drew. She's going to team up with Drew McWeeny. Because he's got Clark on his anarchy corruption team, so that team already has a chance of being wiped away. Anyway, so there's a chance, Drew McWeeny, but then what's the point of even announcing that team? So that's the argument there. I don't think there's really a solid argument that doesn't have any holes in it for anyone that's been mentioned yet, but I think Drew McWeeny is one that could be mentioned. I think Mike Kalinowski and Mara are also ones that good choices that could happen. I'm really not sure, though, which is why I'm going with the Shire Wolves are going to win, just because I have no idea who Brienne's partner is going to be. Could be Chance Ellison. It could be.
Hey, if it is, they may very well win that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I do love your theory on, McWeeny teaming up with Brienne because, I mean, let's face it here, it wasn't McWeely's decision to give up the team belts in the first place, respectfully to Sam, he wanted to walk away, and Drew respected that. So it would be fitting for him to team up with Brienne to get the belt back.
Yeah, I mean, Levine walked away, but how long until he gets the itch to come back, really?
Yeah.
He's
I give it a year.
I'd say you're probably spot on that one. Also, I know his last match didn't go well, but it feels like everyone's like sort of counting Dan Murrell out. And it's like, one match, before that match, he's the GOAT. After that match,
he's a nobody.
Yeah, he's not good at trivia anymore. It's like you had prime Murrell, and now you've got Murrell
good
right now.
In that
and it's
match.
like, fuck off.
Yeah. He did good in that match.
I know how that is.
He was good in matches. Andrew Guy had his game of his life.
Yeah. I think Merle and Roca have a chance of they're who I pick for winning this whole thing.
I don't know. Like that's the interesting thing about who's going to be your partner, because if the Showers win, they're going to be out the tournament. So that's going to be two teams exploded. So are they going to go from 16 teams to 14? 12? Like it's we just got to see what happens this Friday and then go from there.
I don't think they will. I think they'll find replacements.
Yes, that's what Christian has said.
It'd be crazy. Is if it turned out to be one of the schmoes that was her.
It would have.
If Christian came
Christian or Mark,
It would be Christian because he said he's done.
No,
he did.
Christian's done. But Mark Ellis, you can tell Mark Ellis still has the itch to get back in there. If it's Mark Ellis, it's Brienne and baby carrots. Oh man, that'd be wild.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, unless anybody has anything else to add, I think that about covers this week.
Nope.
I'd say
at all.
I'm good.
Alright, well, everybody watching, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Sean, I'll go to you first. Where can everybody find you?
Find me at Sandberg Sean on Twitter. You can find me at Sean Sandberg on Facebook. And yeah, You can find me here helping out with all access and playing in different leagues. Anywhere there's good trivia, to quote my partner Grant Gregory, that's where you'll find me.
Definitely, and thanks for joining us. Chris?
Yeah, you guys can find me at Twitter at Chris_Day1995. You can find me on Instagram at ChrisDayOfficial. You guys can go check out my movie Alone, nominated for 5 short film awards, including Best Picture. I'm very excited for that. If you guys want a movie, just message me, because everybody's already having a lot of problems as it is with finding it. I will help you. Team leagues, I need to let this know straight up. If you want to compete, please put on the Facebook group Jack of All Trivia, Joe, either or. Please, August, on September 1st, if you want to be in the tournament by November, please signal up your team, because it's going to take a lot for me and Haven to schedule everything out. So I haven't told Haven this, but I'm just going to say this. Please, by the end of August, if you don't have a team and if you do not do it after August 31st, I'm sorry, but you won't be able to compete till after the tournament. Look forward. What's up?
All I'm going to say to that is it'll be bullshit if Sons of Apocalypse aren't in that tournament.
Oh, you guys know you will be.
I will be highly pissed if Sons of Apocalypse are not in that tournament.
Well, they have a match coming up anyway next month. So, anyway, guys, I do want to say I look forward to facing Chris Woodburn in our Civil War match in a couple weeks, I think. I appreciate the love you also have given me this week, and I'm very excited to come back in a couple weeks, whenever it is. I'm excited to compete again with Chris. We're going to tear it up, man.
Yep, I'm going to kick your ass.
Caleb? Go cry.
Yeah, you can find me on my channel, Caleb Boatman, where I do Schmoedown reactions. I'm going to start getting some new content out. I've got a new series that I'm in the final stages of workshopping. It's called Marvelous Movie Moments. It's me breaking down some of my favorite movie moments. The first episode is going to be the diaper chase scene from Raising Arizona. That very funny scene. It's breaking that down, why that scene is just so great.
Amazing.
You can also find me on Jack of All Trivia, doing matches there. You can find my match against C-Dub, where it was a great match despite the ending. It was a great match. Yeah, you can watch the upcoming team match between the Young Bucks and the Men with No Names whenever that happens. We've already filmed that, but whenever that's released, you can watch that. Yeah.
Oh, also,
right.
I forgot one plug that I need to make. Check out my YouTube channel at Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Also, I forgot to say, Oscar. There will be no Oscar talk today. We said that there was. Something came up and we can't do it, so it'll be a couple weeks with me and Caleb, and we're going to talk about
Oscars with how I screwed it up with Warren Beatty. And so I'm fucked already on that one.
We don't have time later today
but
to do it.
We're going to do it soon. What's up?
Oh, if we had time later today, I don't know. I could do it later.
We'll see what Haven could say. But we're going to be talking about the Oscar shit and Black Klansman and Black Panther and their Oscar hopes they haven't had. So I apologize for getting that, and I'll let Haven talk.
Are you Haven?
You can find me on Facebook at Jack of All Trivia. That's how we can become friends through the Facebook world. And then, of course, on YouTube at Jack of All Trivia.
And you can find me on YouTube at Christopher Woodburn, Twitter, Chris Woodburn83, Facebook, Christopher Michael Woodburn. If you do Schmoedown reactions, trailer reactions, come join the MTS Fan Reaction League. And I'll do this every week. I'll suggest watch Caleb Boatman's Schmoedown reactions because they are magnificent.
Thank you.
And also, if you're watching this episode, thank you. And you can find us here on Jack of All Trivia every Sunday with a brand new episode of Schmoedown All Access. You can go back and watch our interviews with Schmoedown competitors Mark Knopfic, Ben Bateman, William Bibiani. So for Sean, for Haven, for Caleb, for Chris, I'm C-Dub. Until next week, peace.
Peace.